at this time, we would like to invite our speakers, Dr. Sonia Doi, Jussara Korngold, and Heather Balek Fonseca back on the stage for our last Q&A session of the day. We would like also to invite Dr. Sherry Ashcroft from the Conscious Living Spiritist Group of Miami to conduct the session for us.
Good afternoon. Ms. Korngold, we always hear about Jesus' teachings, but is there a possibility that we were in the crowd that crucified him?
Well, most probably we were, but I'm sure that Jesus doesn't mind. He's very happy to see where we are now, and that's the reason why he came to us. He knew about our condition. He knew that we still had so much to learn, so much to grow spiritually. And so he was more thinking about us, like, well, we tender for a rose that is just starting to sprout. It's in the same way. So I'm sure Jesus is happy with the way we are now, seeing that we are now trying to understand and to follow his teachings. And we have to do a little more, and we have so much more to learn. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Doi, how can we all apply the teachings of Jesus on healing to the practice of medicine?
We learned so much from Jesus and his healings, but without the Spiritism, we probably would not be able to comprehend all that happened and all the teachings that he left. So we learned about reincarnation, we learned about the causes, the law of cause and effect. We learned that healing is operated from the perispirit out, from inside out, that the perispirit can transmit to the physical cell the healing power, so that the cell is reorganized and we can restore health. Now, several physicians, physicists, and all kinds of people in research got very curious about, especially about the healings that are being occurred lately in our days. And in the last years, we have seen a growing number of papers published by physicians, by nurses, and all these researchers who are trying to find out how this healing, physical healing, happens. And they were curious about how faith, how spirituality can do these wonders. So we have seen that there's a paper that got me very, it was so interesting, so intriguing. This was this scientist who did an experience with spirituality, and he proved by scientific means that faith, not just going to the church, not just attending church, but faith, real faith, could actually change the behavior of genes, how genes can promote either health or disease. So he used very powerful scientific techniques. So there's a real proof of that. And in the Spiritist Medical Association, that's what we are trying to do through the Congress that we have every 2 years. We're trying to bring together those Spiritist physicians, Spiritist nurses, those who already have the knowledge that the Spiritism brought, and work in the health practice together with researchers, with physicians who have already done research, but they do not really comprehend because they are not Spiritists. They have never learned about all the Spiritist teachings. So we are putting them together in the Congress And we can learn from one another, and we can inspire others so that this can also be practiced in the healthcare. We have seen that more and more physicians here in the United States are interested. We have seen one physician from Harvard who went all the way to Brazil to see firsthand how these healings happen. And he came so enthusiastic about this, and he's going to be talking in our Spiritist Medical Congress, the upcoming event. So there's so much we can learn. We learned today, when I was talking about Jesus' teachings, that faith is a working force behind healing. So all that can apply. And I hope that you can come to the Congress and we can learn so much. And I hope that everyone that works in the healthcare can use this in their practice, can learn from Spiritism, put it together with what science teaches, and put in practice for the benefit of humankind.
Ms. Bullock, should God give free will even to those who will use this for evil?
Short answer, yes.
Long answer.
Okay. Long answer. If God didn't give free will to such spirits or individuals, then what would be the point of the free will? But God gave free will to each of us because He wants us to choose our own actions and achieve our own progress through the choices that we make. But I would also say that we can't really say that it's given to someone or a spirit who would or would not use it for evil, because all of us have the potential to use our free will for good or for wrongdoing. Nothing's written in stone. And the only thing that is fatalistic is the fact that we all will progress. So a spirit that used their free will to do something inappropriate had the opportunity to make the right choices. But eventually, the suffering that such a spirit would undergo as a consequence, which actually is intended to help that spirit heal and learn, will change its course along the way. And at some point, the spirit will tire of that and will decide to take a new direction, and will thus earn its own happiness, as all of us will, its own complete happiness, through its choices and the use of its free will.
Thank you. This is the last question, Ms. Korngold. Please speak of Jesus and Spiritism for those who do not believe in Jesus or Spiritism.
And there is a phrase that I like very much, and then every time that I have the opportunity, I like to repeat. It's a phrase that was said by Francis of Assisi, and he said the following, that we should preach the gospel and use words if necessary. So I think we learned so much from that, because basically we are not required to go to the world and try to, be keeping on preaching in our daily lives or trying to convince others about Jesus, about God, about Spiritism. Actually, what we have to do is to be the best that we can, and with our examples, we can make a difference in their lives. So by looking at us, they are going to, get intrigued how we are not that affected by daily occurrences and the way they got affected by that. And so I think the best way for us to show Jesus to them when they come to us and they ask about our beliefs, about our faith, about what actually is the drive that we have that makes us, behave in this way. So if we could do that, I think this would be the best way to present Jesus to the world. And like I said, and by the opportunity of the talk that I had, love. And if we love others and we can give this love to each and every one, then we are going to show, in fact, in our lives, in our actions, what Jesus is all about.
Thank you.